What's up guys, it's Tom here and welcome to the Manchester City Leicester City post-match analysis video, and this will also be kind of a review of the title race so far. So the title race is still not over, but it's like 90% or 95% certain that Manchester City will win the title. I just cannot see Brighton getting a result against Man City when Brighton are already safe, and they are one of the worst teams in the Premier League. In fact, only 3 teams had a worse season than them, and they only just stayed up. But this was the game, I think, where Manchester City, on another day, in a different scenario, could have and maybe should have dropped points. Leicester City had 3 very good chances. So let me know if, and it's a big if, because the season is still not over, but if Liverpool end up without a trophy, is it a success or is it a failure, or is it something in between? I think the season is still a success, but not a 10 out of 10 season. It's like a 9 out of 10 season, because the only thing that's missing from Liverpool this season is getting the trophy, getting the Premier League title or the Champions League title. We were this close to actually winning this Premier League, and Manchester City got lucky in some games, like in the Man City Tottenham game. Tottenham had like 4 or 5 clear-cut chances one-on-one with the Man City goalkeeper, and they couldn't finish any of those off. And just 3 days earlier, Tottenham scored 3 goals away at the Etihad. So in another scenario, that could have went the other way. Also in the Burnley Man City game, Man City scored, and the goal was like this close, or just over the line, but like only just 3 centimeters. So that could have been another game where Man City dropped points. In this one, Leicester had 2 or 3 very good chances to score, and on the other hand, the Man City winning goal, it's a fluke goal. I mean, it's a wonder strike, don't get me wrong, it's a worldie, it's one of the best goals of the season, no question. But Vincent Kompany hasn't scored from outside the box for Manchester City in his whole career. The last time he scored outside the box was in 2007 when he was playing for Hamburg, and he scored against Brandbergen, and since then Kompany hasn't scored from outside the box. So nobody expected, when that shot left his foot, to hit the back of the net in a perfect fashion. That was like a 1 in a million strike. Absolutely incredible stuff. I mean, that is Kompany's first goal of the season. He hasn't scored for over a year from Manchester City, and also that is Kompany's first goal from open play from Manchester City. So far he only scored from free kicks, corners. So it's just a freak goal in my opinion. And don't get me wrong, Man City ultimately deserved to beat Leicester. They were the better team, they had more possession, a lot more chances. But there were moments in the game where Man City were so nervous. Almost every time Leicester got near their box, the Manchester City players were very nervous, and that was because Liverpool put them under pressure. And Kompany, said that he was annoyed that other players told him don't shoot, pass the ball. But even Guardiola admitted in his post-match press conference that he wanted Kompany to pass the ball and not shoot, because he wasn't confident in Kompany's ability. So that means that even Guardiola thinks it's a fluke goal, because Kompany just doesn't score those shots. Like 99 times out of 100, that shot goes over the bar. And you could say that I'm salty, it's sour grapes, all that jazz, but this is just an unprecedented, incredible season, and an unprecedented, unbelievable title race, because never before in English football history, and I don't think in any other league's history, there has been 2 teams who have been perfect for the last like 3 months of the season. Liverpool have won 8 or 9 games in a row now, I think, and Manchester City have won 13 games in a row. I'm talking about the Premier League. That is unprecedented. Usually one of the teams in the title race or even both teams in the title race drop points. They get a draw here and there. They lose some games here and there. So for Liverpool to get to 97 points potentially, we still have to beat Wolves to get to that. But to have 97 points and not win the title is just the unluckiest thing in the world. And many Liverpool fans saying that Liverpool are cursed. I don't think so. Liverpool are not cursed. We are just up against the richest team in football history and the team with probably the biggest and the best squad in English football history. Because in the previous 117 seasons before Pep Guardiola's Manchester City got to 100 points last season, and they probably will get to 98 points this season, Liverpool, in any other of the 117 seasons, Liverpool have been champions. Liverpool have more points than the Invincibles of that Arsenal team. Liverpool have more points than the Jose Mourinho's Chelsea, which won the league with just 15 goals conceded, and they got to 95 points. Liverpool will probably get to 97 points. That is, so right now they don't have more points than that team, but I expect them to beat Wolves because Salah will be back and Firmino as well, maybe. So I can't call this season a failure when Liverpool get to 97 points. It's just ridiculous. And also, huge credit goes out to Guardiola and the actual players of Manchester City, because they had an incredible season. And the standard just got elevated like 2 levels above the previous seasons that it was. Like, I mean, Chelsea won the league with Antonio Conte with 93 points. That was also an incredible return. But Liverpool would have beat that as well this season. We are already on 94 points. So this Liverpool team is the best Liverpool team in history, and I can't call them a failure if they don't win the title, because like they are doing their best ever season. And if that's not good enough, then you just hold your hands up and say, like, well done to Manchester City. They have an incredible squad depth, and I think that was the difference this season. And I will be honest, before the season began, I didn't think Liverpool could get this close to this Manchester City team, because don't forget that Liverpool finished on 75 points last season and Man City on 100 points. So Man City, basically, they are replicating the season that they are doing, that they did last season. Like, they get 98 points this season. That's almost as good as the 100-point season. So for Liverpool to improve by 25 points or 23 points, or if we win the last game, that will be 22 points improvement. To improve the season by 22 points in one season, I can't stress that enough. That is unprecedented. That is incredible. I don't think there is a team before in Liverpool's history who improved by 22 points from one season to the other. But I haven't looked that up exactly what is the biggest improvement. But it's incredible. And honestly, this Liverpool team is here to stay. This is, as Jurgen Klopp said, it's just the first of many title challenges. This is not Liverpool's last opportunity to win the Premier League title. When we challenged the last time with Luis Suarez, Daniel Sturridge, it felt like a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to win the title, because we knew that some of those Liverpool players will want to leave. Maybe we knew that other Liverpool players were getting older and they might not keep that same level next season. And when we sold Suarez, that whole team fell apart basically. And we lost Raheem Sterling, we lost Coutinho, we lost almost everybody else from that team in the next 2 or 3 years. But this Liverpool team has such a great core of players. We have Alisson, Trent Alexander-Arnold, Robertson, Joe Gomez, Fabinho, Naby Keita, Firmino, Salah, Mane, and I could go on and on and on. Oxlade-Chamberlain. So many players who have a good 7, 8, 9 years ahead of them. Even Van Dijk, centre-backs, could play until 34, 35, so you could argue that Van Dijk has a good 5 years in him. And this Liverpool team, surely we can stay together in the next 3-4 years and challenge for the Premier League title every year. That's what Liverpool should be aiming for. And this failure of the season has to be a learning curve for Liverpool as well. We basically can't accept next season even draws in the season. We have to aim to win every single game there is, because that's what we are up against. Manchester City, at any point in the season, they can go on a winning run. Last season they won 18 games in a row, and this season, if they win the title, they win 14 games in a row. That's what Liverpool are up against. Almost perfection. So Liverpool should be aiming to get 105 points next season, which seems like impossible. But last season, at the end of last season, honestly, when we finished on 75 points, I honestly thought that if somebody told me Liverpool should be aiming for 98 points, I would have said it's impossible. That's just historically, if you look back, it has never been done before in Liverpool season. And this season, we almost did it. We are so close to the best ever team in English football history. I'm convinced that this Manchester City side is the best ever team in English football history because of the points tally, because of how many wins in a row they got. And like getting 198 points in 2 seasons is unheard of. That normally big teams get that in 3 seasons combined, not just 2 seasons. That's what Liverpool are up against. And it's incredible what Pep Guardiola and this bunch of Manchester City players are doing, honestly. They are almost unbeatable. But for Liverpool to lose just 1 game, and that 1 game that we lost was lost because of like 1 centimeter. That's how much Sadio Mane's shot didn't cross the line with. And then Manchester City, instead of 1-0 Liverpool, they go in front, Liverpool equalize, and then Leroy Sané's shot goes in. So you could argue, and you could talk about all the draws that Liverpool had. You could argue that that was the game where Liverpool lost the title. You could argue that the Leicester and West Ham results were where Liverpool lost the title. You could go on and on and on about where we went wrong during the season. But honestly, we had so many games where we won it in the last seconds, in a freak fashion, in a lucky fashion. Manchester City were lucky in some games, Liverpool were lucky in some games. So you can't really fault the players and Jurgen Klopp. What we need to do is learn from this experience, learn from this season, and turn those draws into wins. Try to find another player, and I'm convinced that if Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain was fit for this season, we would have won the league, because that draw against Leicester and West Ham, I think that's what ultimately cost us the Premier League title, because that's where Liverpool were like 3 or 4 points ahead of Manchester City, and we got 2 draws against teams that we, on another day when we were fresher, maybe if we didn't have as many injuries, we could have won those games. And it was just unlucky. But if we had Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain available, maybe in those games where the front players weren't firing at their top form for Liverpool, Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain maybe could have made the difference in those games and popped up with a goal or 2, and that could have made all the difference. But as I said, I don't fault the players. I think this has been a successful season, and still, it's not over yet. It's incredible that Liverpool are taking this Manchester City team, which, as I said, this Manchester City team is just a freak of nature team that was brought together by incredible amount of money. That's what Liverpool are up against. And yes, Liverpool spent a lot of money. themselves, but nowhere near the level that Man City spent. And what I'm having trouble with is the way that Manchester City cheated the financial fair play regulations, and how the FA, FIFA and UEFA are all investigating Manchester City's financial fair play irregularities, and the way that Manchester City got around those rules, basically breaking them. And that's how they built this incredible team and incredible squad. And that's why they have Pep Guardiola as well. Because make no mistake, if Man City didn't have unlimited money, Guardiola wouldn't be their manager. If Man City were just another, Tottenham, for example, Guardiola wouldn't have gone there. So that's why I have a little bit of a bitter taste in my mouth, but ultimately I'm just so proud of this Liverpool team, and this has been the best ever season to watch as a Liverpool fan since I started supporting this great club in 2001. So in 19 years or 18 years, this has been the best Liverpool season that I've ever seen, honestly. And I count all the seasons where we won a lot of trophies. This has been, honestly, football-wise, the best season. This is the best Liverpool team that I have ever seen in my life. And it's probably the best team in Liverpool's history. That's why I'm very confident and excited in looking forward to the future. Because if we can keep this level up, and if we can strengthen and get more great players in, then Liverpool can win trophies next season. That's what I'm really excited about. So let me know what do you think about this in the comments below. And thanks for watching. See you later, guys. Goodbye.